Welcome to Full Disclosure. I'm Christopher Gilliam, and today we're going to be talking about our neighbors over in Cadott. So, working my day job today, I met somebody who works with the school board in Cadott, also works in Eau Claire as a teacher. And what I found out today is that as far as the critical race theory going on and the wokeness happening in schools, it's not just on the coast, it's not just in Eau Claire. It's already in Chippewa County. They're already doing this over in Cadott. You've got school boards over there pushing for, basically stuff about transgenderism and all this being taught to first graders, elementary school kids, and stuff about white privilege and all this nonsense from Robin DiAngelo. Now, the biggest problem that I have with that and why we got to fight back against this immediately is because schools are where our children go to get educated. They go there to learn reading, writing, math, history, science. That's the purpose of school. Raising our children is up to us as parents. I raise my child, you raise your child. It is not up to the state to raise our children. I fully have faith in parents to do a much better job teaching their children the difference between right and wrong, how to respect people, how to not be racist, and all these things. That's up to parents. They're the ones who know their children. They're the ones that are with them 24/7. They're the ones that are going to do 10 times better than the state could ever do. You do not want the state raising your children. And that's what this is. It's a double whammy too, because every minute that your school spends raising your child and trying to teach them about cultural issues is a minute taken away from their actual education, from their academic education. School is there strictly for academic education. You learn your basic rights and wrongs interacting with other kids as it comes up. It's ultimately up to the parents when those children go home to be the ones that teach them right and wrong. It's not up to the school. That's not what our tax dollars pay them for. I don't even think most of the teachers want to be teaching that sort of stuff. Why do you go to school, get a degree, get a math degree, get a science degree, get a history degree, get a child education degree? Is it to teach them about a woke ideology? I don't think so. So basically that stuff's already here in Chippewa Falls. I don't believe any school board elections are up this spring. It's definitely something we're going to be looking at next spring, and that's something we're going to be hitting hard because, that kind of nonsense shouldn't be in schools. I think critical race theory, everything that comes from Ibram X. Kendi, Robin DiAngelo, I believe that it's going to lead to massive lawsuits, for districts, for counties, for schools, and it rightfully should because it violates the 1965 Civil Rights Act. It basically divides people and causes racism in and of itself. That's the last thing we need, especially for young kids. It's confusing enough growing up. Most adults that I know don't understand what half of this stuff is. Most adults I know have no idea what critical race theory actually is, let alone trying to educate a 6-year-old on it. To sum it up, critical race theory is basically critical being you are being critical of race. You're constantly criticizing. That is what critical race theory is, to completely criticize the theory behind race, constantly and never ending. And if you really think about it, it's a good way to put somebody into a psych ward after you give them anxiety that's through the roof, which is not a way I believe a healthy society lives. We should be acting in a way where we believe that the society is good and fair and just. If you follow our history, we have gotten better and better over time at this. In fact, we were one of the first countries in the world, in the history of the world, to abolish slavery, which is something that's been going on all over the world since the dawn of time. We were one of the first ones to say enough is enough and not do that anymore. We should be building on that, not trying to, basically find monsters in the shadows where none exist. We certainly need to not be exposing children that are too young to comprehend those sort of issues. I mean, these are difficult issues for adults. We don't need to be putting that on the shoulders of an 8-year-old. You know, I have full confidence in our parents to be able to raise our children to be right and to treat people equally and with respect. We do not need our educational institutions taking that burden on. We don't want them taking that burden on. It is not up to the state to raise our children. I think this is setting a very healthy boundary between parents and the state. So, you know, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about tonight. Just, you know, make everyone aware here in the Republican Party that that is something that has already entered a part of Chippewa County. So we'll definitely be looking to address that and rectify it. Again, schools are about educating students in academics. That's what school is for. You know, we used to be number one in education a long time ago. Now we're 20 something. The reason why is because our minutes, instead of going towards teaching children the academics they're there to learn, it's teaching them nonsense. You know, some of you might have seen there's a school somewhere in Philadelphia, an elementary school, that came under fire because one of the teachers was having the children do a mock Black Panther rally or something like that. And not surprisingly, the literacy rate for children that come out of that district is 11%, which is literally worse than most third world countries in the world. You know, I believe in the Congo in Africa, the literacy rate is around 51% or something, if I remember right. And you have a school district here in the United States that's 5 times worse than that. Because that's what happens when you spend your time teaching children about nonsense instead of academics. You know, so you get an education so that you can learn to think critically and think about these issues for yourselves. You get guided by your parents so that you have a strong moral compass that, you know, is based on values of somebody who cares about you. Yeah, I could rant about this all night. You know, bottom line, we do need to set a healthy boundary between our families, parents, and the state. The state needs to back off. You know, I guarantee you I can teach my children how to be good human beings far better than even the best school in this country can, because they're my kids, because they're the world to me. And I believe most parents feel the same way. So let's keep that in the back of our minds. Definitely pay attention for other school districts this might be happening to in the county, certainly in the state. And you know, again, keep organizing, keep recruiting members, and that way we can fight back against this and make our educational institutions not completely insane anymore. Well, that's all for tonight. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.